This presentation is entitled Handle Hard Better.
After Kara Lawson became the head coach of Duke University women's basketball team in 2020, she gave one of the greatest speeches ever to her team that summer. It went viral all over the world, and rightfully so. The message is applicable in all walks of life. Sports is no exception to this. We are inspired by Coach Lawson's message. Today, in this presentation, we want to dive into her message. Handle hard better. In today's presentation of Handle Hard Better, we're going to cover the following things. What are they? What is easy? What is hard? And how do we handle hard better?
What are they?
What are they? So easy is defined as causing or involving little difficulty or discomfort, requiring or indicating little effort, thought, or reflection. If you're one that likes to take notes, highlight the part of this definition where it states requiring or indicating little effort, thought, or reflection. Hard is defined as difficult to accomplish or resolve, difficult to comprehend or explain.
What is easy?
So for most people, they would define the following things as being easy. Things that we know how to do, things that are familiar to us, things that we comprehend without much difficulty, things that we have practiced over a period of time, things that have been taught to us in a way or manner that we can relate to, and things that we have observed over a period of time. Let's ask ourselves the following questions about easy or things that we consider to be easy. One, are things that are easy to us now ever been hard at some point in time? Two, did someone else besides you make something hard easier for you? Three, how did something hard become easy for you? What was the process where something hard became easy? Four, do hard things really ever become easy?
What is hard?
The following things are things that most people would consider to be hard, things that we do not know how to do, things that are new to us, things that are difficult to comprehend, things that we do not consistently practice, things that have been taught to us but we cannot relate to, things that are not familiar to us. Let's ask ourselves the following questions about hard and what is hard. One, are things hard because we choose not to do our homework? Two, are things hard because we choose not to invest in consistent practice? Three, are things hard because they are not relatable? Four, are things hard as a result of how they are taught? Five, are things hard because you are envious of the people that understand them?
How do we handle hard better? Change the way we view easy and hard.
So let's look at some of the ways that we can change the manners in which we view easy and hard. When something is no longer hard, let's not just naturally say that it is easy. Here are some alternatives. One, let's say it is easier. This way, we recognize that it can still be hard for others. Two, we now handle hard better. Three, I can now teach hard to others. I like to think about this in terms of mathematics. So say that you're in school and you're taking algebra. For some people, algebra is a piece of cake. For other people, algebra is a little bit more challenging. So there may be different times when the light bulb for algebra goes off, or turns on rather, for each one of us. And eventually, one would hope, or I would like to hope in this case, that algebra is no longer hard for you. Here's the funny thing. When algebra becomes easier for you, guess what? Algebra is one of the principal foundations, calculus. So when you master something and it is considered among the basic principles of something, remember that this foundation sets the standard or sets the way for something that's going to prove to be much more challenging and much harder down the road. This mastery of algebra in this case should prove that we can handle hard better. And not only can we handle it better, but maybe we have the capacity to teach hard to others in a relatable manner. When something is hard, let's not just naturally say we cannot master it or we will never get it or I don't understand this and I never will or I can't do it. You've already put a roadblock, a hurdle in your way before you've even started your journey. Let's take these alternatives. One, hard is an opportunity for me to grow. Hard is a challenge that I will eventually master. Hard is a game that I am learning how to play. Think of your favorite game. It could be a board game, could be a card game, could be a video game. At one time, that particular game was hard to you, or you did not know how to play the game. So it was a challenge for you, not only learning how to play that particular game, but learning how to master that game and maybe even perhaps beat the game. The challenge to learn how to play that particular game and to hopefully master or beat that game provided opportunities for you to grow personally and or professionally. And through your eventual mastery of the game and through your growth of learning how to play the game, you grew. You learned just how smart you are, how smart you can be, how intelligent you really can be. And you learn that hard can indeed be an opportunity for you to grow in so many different ways.
Doing our homework.
In order for hard to become easier, we must do the following. One, we must do our homework. Two, we must invest in consistent practice. You can say that consistent practice is the same as homework. 3, we must be willing to ask others for help. 4, we must be willing to listen, especially to those people who are either trying to teach us or who are trying to help us. 5, even when hard becomes easier eventually, we must perform steps 1 through 4 again, over and over and over and over. 1 through 4 must be our consistent process in order for hard to become easier. You can think of this in a couple of ways. Most of us have gone to school, primary school, kindergarten through 12th grade. And think of classes that we didn't like or a subject matter that proved to be challenging to us, or teachers that were very strict or were hard, or that gave us homework not only every day, or teachers that gave us weekly quizzes, but even teachers that gave us homeworks and assignments, even over holiday breaks. We labeled those teachers as mean, overbearing. We considered them as teachers that we did not like. But you know what those teachers were doing? They were preparing us. They were challenging us. They were investing in us to realize our ability to make hard become easier. They were investing in our ability to learn how to handle hard better. They were preparing us for life. They were preparing us for adulthood, because one of the most central lessons of adulthood is how to handle hard better. And we're going to discuss that more later in the presentation. We talked earlier about mastering the basics. But the funny thing about our mastery of the basics, or the basics becoming easier, in order to accomplish even greater things that require extensive and thorough knowledge of the basics, we still must invest time, effort, and practice into the basics as well. So, in order to handle hard better, where hard becomes easier, we must consistently do our homework all the time.
How we are taught.
In order for hard to become easier, let's dive into how hard is taught and see, do we need to make changes to just how hard is currently being taught. So in order for hard to become easier, hard must be taught in segments and chapters. We must master segments and chapters first. Think of it like a pizza. A pizza is divided into slices, whether it's a small pizza, medium pizza, large pizza, or extra large pizza. There are very few people, if anyone, who can eat a pizza whole. In order for you to consume a pizza in its entirety, you usually must eat it one slice at a time. And even so, each slice requires small bites until eventually you finish each slice. To finish each slice of pizza requires time. It would require several bites, the chewing of the food, the swallowing of the food. This occurs over time. This is the same principle as being taught. So many of us want to learn the entire lesson all in one setting. And just like eating a meal, it takes time. We must digest our education into segments or slices of pizza and chapters rather than just trying to encompass the whole pizza or the entire lesson all at once. Two, art must be taught where it's relatable. We must be able to take art and relate it to what I would hope would be a real life scenario or real life experience. It may be your own experience. It may be the experience of someone you know. It may be an experience of someone in general. You would be surprised how much comprehension will occur when you take something that people may view as hard or difficult and relate it to an everyday, real life potential situation or experience. Three, hard must be taught such that homework and practice are necessary. It's very easy to listen and be taught something, or to observe, to self teach something. But you can't truly learn what you are told or what you watch and observe until you put these lessons into application, practical application and use. And practical application and use are repetitions, frequent repetitions. We call those repetitions practice, and we call that practice homework. Four, hard must be taught where it is understood that there is no deadline for it to become easier. The light bulb goes off for different people at different times, or rather, I should say the light bulb comes on for different people at different times. And this depends on not only the matter that is being taught, but it also depends on the motivation of the person trying to learn said material. Where we tend to go wrong here is putting ourselves under so much unnecessary pressure to learn something or learn how to handle something hard or difficult in a finite amount of time. Give yourself some wiggle room to learn in terms of time. Give yourself some time to put hard into practical application and practice.
Comparison and contrast.
In order for hard to become easier, we must do the following four things. We must stop comparing ourselves to those who have already mastered hard. We don't know their entire story. If someone is at a stage, personally or professionally, of doing something that you desire to do, and they do it at a high level and what you deem at a successful level, keep in mind we don't know their story. We don't know how much time and effort they had to invest such that hard became easier for those particular people. Your story may be one where hard becomes easier for you in a shorter amount of time, or an equivalent amount of time, or in a longer period of time. Sometimes the greatest success in hard becoming easier is not the end of the journey, but the fact that you take the journey and are willing to continue the journey even through every hurdle and roadblock along the journey. Two, we must not carry envy in our hearts. Envy and jealousy are two stumbling blocks, two hurdles for hard becoming easier. Negative emotions will always stop your path of success. Most people carry envy in their hearts about success, in this case, hard becoming easier, when they look at other people and deem whatever they may seem to have as success. Your road to success and your road for hard becoming easier should be different from their road and their journey of success. Three, we must understand that the light bulb turns on for different people at different times. We said this countless times in this presentation. We must view success as we master each segment and chapter versus the whole. Instead of viewing the entire mastery of material or a concept as success, view success as mastery of each segment, each chapter. That is the success. The journey to master each segment is the success. It's the hard becoming easier because now you have defined a process for yourself in order to learning how to make hard become easier, and thus learning how to handle hard better.
Bringing it all together.
As we grow from babies to toddlers to teenagers to hopefully adults, there is a difference between adults and grown-ups. We will encounter many hard things. We may master none of them, a few of them, some of them, many of them, maybe even all of them. Regardless, the number of hard things we will encounter will grow exponentially in number throughout our lives. For many of us, the number of hard things we will encounter may appear more than we can handle. So you have to ask yourself a couple of questions here. And this is not a situation where these two questions, one question and another, is one question or another question. Do you wish to live your life trying to become a master of all things hard? Not saying that that's impossible. It is possible. But it is a huge undertaking. Or do you wish to live your life knowing how to handle hard better? We want to thank you for spending part of your day with us. We hope that this presentation of Handle Hard Better has given you some insight into who you are. We hope this presentation has also given you some insight as well as inspiration that you as an individual are not only capable of anything, but you're also capable of handling anything that comes your way, whether you define it as easy or whether you define it as hard. Remember, all of us are strong in some areas and not as strong in other areas. And that's okay. That's part of our humanity. The key is knowing who you are and having a defined process for how you want to tackle things that feel hard or difficult in nature. Hopefully, some takeaways from this presentation is that you view hard as a challenge and an opportunity for education and growth within yourself. Remember, succeeding and being able to handle hard better is not only a great accomplishment for yourself, but it can be an inspiration for others to know that they can do the same. Let's also keep in mind that in life, things that are hard really never become easy, they just become easier, and you are able to handle hard better. Before we take our leave of you, first we want to give a shout out to everyone, yourself included, for spending part of your day with us and viewing this presentation. We hope it was indeed worth your time. We also want to give credits to Slides Mania for the use of this presentation template and Unsplash for the use of images within this presentation template. Again, thank you all for joining us today. Have a great day, a great week, a great month, a great year, and remember, you have the capacity to
handle hard better.